So let's talk about the three roles that we play whenever there's meanness. And we play different roles depending on different situations. So sometimes we can be the bystanders. Who are the bystanders? Those are the people that are watching the mean thing happen. Sometimes we can be the bully or the mean person. And that is often when we're in great anger or fear or anxiety. When we have a lot of strong, painful feelings inside of us, instead of dealing with them ourselves, we often throw them onto somebody else who we call the victim. So, who gets hurt in a bullying situation? I would say everybody. The victim definitely gets hurt because the mean person is inflicting their pain on them. The bully or mean person is hurt because they are acting in a way that nobody who feels good about themselves is going to be mean to somebody else all of the time. And often when we do something mean, we hurt ourselves. Also, the bystanders, when we're just watching meanness, even if we don't know the people that are involved in the meanness, it causes us anxiety and fear, and it causes us to be hurt also. Nobody likes watching somebody else be hurt. So all of these roles we play at one time or another whenever there's meanness. We're one of these three roles. So who has the most power in a bullying or meanness situation? The bystanders do, usually, because they're usually more bystanders than anything else. So if the bystanders become upstanders and stand up for the person that is being bullied, then that puts pressure on the bully to stop. So let's talk a little bit about being a bystander. In a bullying situation, if I were the mean person and I was being mean to Mr. Monkey here, usually the bystanders are going to stand or be next to the bully. They would get around the bully. Why? Because that's where they feel safe and they don't want to be bullied. So if you pay attention next time there is a bullying situation as to, if you're a bystander, where you stand. If I am the bully and the bystanders are next to me, I'm looking at the victim, it gives me even more power because that visual of all the people on this side, it looks like we're all against the victim. So if you're a bystander and you come and you stand next to the victim, now as the bully, I'm looking at a group of people as I say my mean or hurtful words. And it's less effective. I'm less confident. There's strength in numbers. So just the visual of the bystanders standing next to that bully, standing next to that victim, it shows that you're supporting or gives a physical support to the victim. So if you can't speak out, you're too afraid to speak out, then if you could at least stand next to the victim, that will be one step towards supporting or helping the victim. It's something to think about next time you encounter a bullying situation. I've also heard the term survivor instead of victim, and I really like that because it sends the message that that person withstood something and came out on the other side strong. I've also heard bystanders referred to as upstanders. And those are people that, when they see meanness, they do something to stop it. And I like that also. Little things matter, Mikey. And I said, hey, everybody, here is Unlikey Mikey. And you started laughing at the mean name that I said. Is that meanness? Yes. What's the message when we laugh at something mean that somebody says? The message is, I don't like you and I don't care about your feelings. So we need to be careful about little things that we do because they are powerful and they make a difference. Also, people will sometimes not like you because of things that you don't have any control over. Maybe somebody doesn't like people with brown hair, or they don't like short people, or they don't like girls, or they don't like boys, or they don't like white people or black people, or any number of traits that make us unique, but that we have no control over. It's just part of life. There will be people who don't like you because of things you have no control over. I don't have to be everybody's favorite. And everybody is not my favorite either. But the point is, no matter if we like somebody or not, we all deserve kindness. Everybody deserves kindness, no matter what. It doesn't matter how much money we have. It doesn't matter the way we look. It doesn't matter how much education we have. I am no better than anybody else. And nobody is any better than me. I am also no less than anybody else. And other people are no less than me. We are all deserving of kindness and human decency. So let's do our best to be the kindest person we can be by paying attention to our feelings, by paying attention to little things like what we post, what we say, what we choose to like or dislike on social media or repost, what we laugh at, our body language, when we roll our eyes or turn away from somebody or ignore somebody. Pay attention. Be aware of the part you play in being kind or in being mean. And we can change behavior. That's the good news. The The not so good news is that sometimes that's very hard to do. So start with little small baby steps. Start by paying attention, and if you yell when you're mad, then at least one time try not to yell. Try to make progress. It's not about perfection because we're all human and nobody's going to reach perfection. That's not, if that's the goal, we will never reach it. I still have trouble with this stuff. When I get agitated, aggravated, I am not kind to, especially the people that are in my family that are close to me. So I need to walk away and be by myself until I can take care of my own needs and calm myself down. So if we could all do something small like that to make a difference, that's key. But behavior does not need to define us. It is something that we can change, and we need to work on slowly and be easy and kind to ourselves, because kindness comes from within. So my call is for kindness, to think about ourselves, to work together, and in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind. Let's talk about online safety when you are playing video games or in chat rooms. If somebody that you have never met face to face starts to ask for personal information, I want you to block that person, take a snapshot or a screenshot of them asking for you for that information, and let your parents know. Because there are people, there are adults that are out there that are predators. What does that mean? It's like the shark is a predator, the fish is the victim. The shark is going to eat and hurt the fish. So unfortunately, there are people out there that try to hurt children, and they get them to trust them by pretending to be another child. If somebody that you've never met before asks you for personal information, like what your full name is, what your address is, that's those sorts of questions, that's a red flag. You need to let your parents know immediately. And please always, if you have a username and password for any chat rooms or video games that you play, let your parents know that information too. So in case something does happen, they can see what you've been doing. Another thing I want you to be aware of is if you post anything or respond, even text, any message that you send over the internet, it leaves a digital footprint. It is forever out there. Others can take, even if you delete it, somebody else can take a snapshot or a screenshot of that thing or those words that you put out there, and they can show other people that. So if you say something really hurtful, or you say some words that are really mean, they can show others that you've said that. And even if you're using somebody else's computer, like your sister or brother's computer, your computer has a an ID number, and they can trace back to your specific computer if you are sending mean messages to somebody. So don't think that nobody will find out that you're doing mean things if you're sending mean things through the internet virally. They can find out. They can trace it back to you. So be very careful and think about what you are saying. Reread anything that you're about to post, or before you hit that send button, because once you do it, it's out there forever and it can follow you. Here are a few suggestions for some activities that you can do at home. One thing I do for my older students is I give them each a sheet of paper, and I have them list as many feelings as they can in a certain time frame. You can set a timer for about a minute. Just be sure to check the list, make sure they don't put down words like good. Good is not a feeling. Another thing that I do, I have a box that I've made into like a cube, and I've written different feelings on each side. The star means that you get to choose, and they'll toss it, and whatever it lands on, you can tell about a time in your life when you felt that way. If you don't have a box, you can put different feelings on slips of paper and have people choose them. If you do that and nobody sees the feeling that you've chosen, you can act it out. You can um, use your body language and your words to get others to guess which feeling was written on your slip of paper. Another thing that you could do is you could role play being the bully and the survivor. Just be sure that you set some rules. Make sure that nobody says any cuss words or has any physical contact. And the goal would be for the bully to get the survivor to try to be mean back to them, and the survivor would be trying to say neutral words or do neutral things where they don't say anything mean back to the bully. And you could again set a timer um, for this, and then they could switch roles. So I hope that I have made a contribution in our fight against meanness. Thank you so much for being here and let me share.